Chapter 1. Hospital Turmoil. Li Shi blinked his sleepy eyes. Yes, as soon as he opened his eyes, he caught sight of a large square face nearly touching his nose. He instinctively wanted to lean back to dodge, but sharp pain in his chest forced him to stop immediately. Who is this person? Li Shi suppressed the panic inside him, trying hard to maintain a calm expression. He didn't let any unusual emotions show while quietly observing his surroundings. His gaze fell on several simple beds, each with a wooden frame standing at the head. Comparing it with the wooden frame beside him, he realized these frames were used to hang 4 fluids. Looking at the wall, it was made of crude mud bricks and yellow clay stacked haphazardly, with no decorations whatsoever. With conditions this poor, is this a black clinic? They wouldn't be planning to take my kidney, would they? Standing by the bed were 2 people, one in military uniform, staring at him with an excited, silly grin. The other wore a white coat and, upon seeing him awake, hurriedly rummaged through a cabinet for something. Li's eyes quickly scanned the soldier in front of him. He noticed a star embedded between 2 yellow stripes on the collar. Is he a major? But the style of this uniform. Could this be a mental hospital? No, wait. I was clearly sleeping at home. Could someone be playing a prank on me? Yesterday, Li Shi had been drinking happily with friends and ended up passed out. Now, upon waking, he found himself in this strange place with thick bandages wrapped around his chest. While Li Shi was lost in thought, the doctor, like a ghost, approached the officer with a stethoscope in hand. The doctor intended to deliver a deadly blow to the officer from behind, but the officer, quick as a cunning rabbit, sidestepped and easily avoided it. The officer's eyes widened, staring intently at the doctor, demanding, "What do you want?" A flicker of disappointment passed through the doctor's eyes, but he forced a stiff smile, saying, "Instructor Tang, please step aside. How can I examine him if you're blocking the way?" The officer stepped aside and replied, "Oh, all right. Dr. Zhao, please carry on. If you need anything, just let me know." Dr. Zhao gripped the stethoscope tightly, looking at Li Shi with a slight smirk, revealing a hint of impending success, especially with that cunning gaze, reminiscent of a hungry wolf, sending chills down one's spine. After all, one cannot hide the intent to harm someone. Although Li Shi was puzzled, he keenly sensed that something was off about the doctor's demeanor through careful observation. After all, Li Shi was an expert in intelligence games like Werewolf, Inner Ghost, and Who is the Werewolf? Having been through many battles, his insight was naturally sharper now. Noticing the doctor's eyes and movements, Li Shi's heart instantly filled with caution, but he tried to move his body, but found it unusually heavy. Seeing Dr. Zhao approach him, he could no longer care about the pain in his chest. He grabbed a pillow and threw it at the doctor, shouting, "Help! He wants to stab me." Hearing the shout, Instructor Tang dashed forward and caught the pillow Li Shi threw. "Calm down, kid. This is the school infirmary. Dr. Zhao is a good person. I don't believe it. This person really wants to stab me. Look at his stethoscope." Li Shi struggled on the bed, trying to press himself against the wall. Instructor Tang was focused entirely on Li Shi, naturally not paying much attention to the doctor. Seeing Li Shi trembling all over, with blood seeping from his chest, Instructor Tang frowned and looked at Dr. Zhao. "Dr. Zhao, what's going on?" Dr. Zhao feigned innocence, saying, "I don't know, it must be the patient's stress response." Instructor Tang looked at Dr. Zhao with suspicion, feeling something was off. After a few seconds of hesitation, he chose to trust Li Shi and extended his hand. "Let me see your stethoscope." Seeing the situation unraveling, Dr. Zhao disregarded everything else, turned the stethoscope around, revealing a blade about an inch long. Without a word, he lunged at Li Shi's neck. In a flash, Officer Tang dashed forward, grabbing Dr. Zhao by the back of his collar, and executed a beautiful shoulder throw. After Dr. Zhao fell to the ground, Officer Tang forcefully stepped on his knife hand with his military boot. With a loud crack, the sound of bone grinding against the ground echoed. That stomped surely shattered his hand. The doctor cried out in pain and had no choice but to drop the knife. His hand was rendered useless, unable to hold anything. Officer Tang then followed up with a kick to the doctor's face. The doctor didn't even grunt, collapsing to the ground like a pile of mud. The whole sequence of actions flowed smoothly, executed in one breath. That was so cool. Li Shi couldn't help but admire the officer's impressive moves. Ouch! Suddenly, a wave of dizziness hit his head. A flood of information surged into his mind, and he immediately collapsed back onto the bed, groaning softly. 1938? Boss Dai Sherdai instructor Tang, Chung military doctor, Zhao Lixing Lingli training class spy knowledge. I've time traveled. Tang Chung pulled off Zhao Lixing's belt and bound his hands, shouting towards the door. Someone come. Report. A student immediately entered from outside. You go call the other doctors over and get a few students to take this traitor to the interrogation room and keep an eye on him until I come to interrogate. Yes. Several classmates then came over to drag Zhao Lixing away. Tang Chung looked at Li Shi with concern, asking, "How are you? Just hang in there, the doctor will be here soon." Information was still flooding into Li Shi's mind, and he had no time to pay attention to him. Tang Chung thought for a moment, arranged for a student to take care of Li Shi, and then headed towards the interrogation room. Li Shi closed his eyes for half an hour before finally understanding the life of this body. The reason it was so quick was that this person's background was very simple. Li Shi, 20 years old, from Xiangnan, of ordinary appearance, high school graduate, and from a well-off family. Due to the invasion of the Japanese devils, his family was destroyed. He once only wanted to study. Now, he only wants to kill the devils for revenge. After his family passed away, he could no longer continue his studies. From a carefree student, he instantly transformed into a vengeful spirit, without even a transitional period. This was a huge blow to him. He became taciturn and reluctant to socialize. Upon hearing that the Nationalist Army was starting a special training class in Lingli, he immediately signed up. Fortunately, he had some education and a clean background, so he became a member of the first batch of students that he wanted to take revenge better, so he needed to lead troops. But he had no background, and to stand out, he could only take on dangerous missions. Today, he and Instructor Tang destroyed a spy base of the devils and even took a bullet for Instructor Tang. Li Shi was betting that this bullet wouldn't take his life. As long as he didn't die, it would be an opportunity. During the past 6 months of training, he was always waiting for an opportunity to shine. Today, he finally got it, but who woke up was Li Shi. After understanding Li Shi's life, Li Shi sighed inwardly. He didn't expect to have time traveled to the wartime period. However, since he was here, he would accept it. At the same time, he felt sorry for the original Li Shi, in this era stained with blood, where war raged and smoke filled the air. The people struggled to survive amidst the flames of war, their homes destroyed and families separated. However, it was precisely on this shattered land that heroes emerged, using their flesh and blood to protect every inch of the motherland. They fought for freedom and justice, regardless of life or death. Whether on the battlefield or lurking behind enemy lines, every figure shone with the light of determination and courage. They used their youth and lives to compose a magnificent, epic that in the midst of war. People also witnessed the brilliance of humanity. Countless ordinary individuals stood up, using flesh and blood, an indomitable spirit to build the backbone of the nation. Love and kindness blossomed amidst the ruins, becoming the strength for people to persevere. This era has taught us to cherish and unite. It made us understand the preciousness of peace, and that only through cooperation and understanding can lasting peace be achieved. In this blood-stained era, we move forward with resilience, holding on to hope. We will remember the pain of history and strive to ensure that the future world is no longer stained with blood. Chapter 2. Kidnapping and Hostage-Taking. November 1938. Time flies, and after lying in bed for 2 months, Li Shi can finally walk again. On this rare sunny day, Li Shi got out of bed alone and went to a nearby grassy area to bask in the sun. He also flipped through the agent knowledge book given to him by Instructor Tang. This book is divided into 2 main parts, one for gathering intelligence and the other for conducting operations. Each major part contains dozens of smaller courses. Wow, even the King of Hell didn't confiscate it from you? Li Shi put down the book in his hand and turned to look at the source of the voice. It was Long Fei, one of the 4 talents of Lin, a martial arts master and Li Shi's only good friend. Li Shi patted the grass beside him with a book and then gestured for Long Fei to come and sit down. Long Fei didn't mind and sat down directly, looking Li Shi up and down. "What are you looking at, kid? Do I have flowers growing on me?" Li Shi asked. Long Fei frowned and said, "Li Shi, I feel like you've changed, but I can't quite say how." Li Shi closed the book and looked at the setting sun, saying, "Can a person who has died once be the same as before?" Then he turned to look at Long Fei's face and asked, "Don't you have class today? How come you have time to come find me?" Long Fei casually picked up Li Shi's book and used it as a pillow, lying down, shot in the chest, and assassinated by a spy. To survive, this is really a stroke of luck. Li Shi rolled his eyes at him. You're the only one who can talk like that. Long Fei propped himself up on his elbows, curiously staring at Li Shi. I heard that traitor had a pill in his mouth and died as soon as he was taken away. Instructor Tang was particularly angry and reported it to the head teacher. Director Dai ordered a thorough investigation, not just in the dorms, but all students were stripped and checked. That scene, you have no idea. They almost cut open their bellies to see. Li Shi raised an eyebrow. Isn't that just right? Did you see some beautiful scenery? Long Fei rolled his eyes. What are you dreaming about? Boys and girls were checked separately. Hey, tell me, how did you find out he was a spy? Mentioning this made Li Shi angrier. He had just crossed over and almost got killed by that traitor. Perhaps Li Shi was also harmed by him. He angrily said, that bastard was already holding a knife ready to kill me. How do you think I found out? Long Fei laid back down in disappointment. Many new classmates came today, too many for the instructors to handle, so they could only let them audit for now. Now the instructors are having a meeting to discuss how to arrange these new students. It is said that we might graduate early. By the way, today is photography class, and we are about to graduate. Who knows when we will see each other again? Let's take a group photo. Group photo? Li Shi frowned. Aren't the instructors strictly prohibiting group photos? And even individual photos are to be destroyed. TCH. Long Fei scoffed. Do they say what they want? Can't you have a bit of your own opinion? He sat up, looked around, and noticed no one nearby before whispering. Those boys have no idea how many photos of the girls they secretly kept, especially the 4 flowers of. Leanly, Li Shi's face darkened. He really didn't know about this and wasn't interested in knowing. Then let's go. After saying this, Li Shi covered his chest with his left hand to prevent straining it and slowly got up with his right hand on the ground. Seeing this, Long Fei quickly got up, moved to Li Shi's side, and helped him up. When they arrived at the photography site, Long Fei casually grabbed a classmate to take a group photo for them. After taking the photo, the two went to the darkroom to develop the pictures. The darkroom was filled with developed photos, and Li Shi even discovered quite a few group photos. Knowing they were going to be destroyed later, the classmates took photos to look at one last time before parting to L. As she looked around, there was supposed to be a supervising teacher here, but today they were absent, likely attending a meeting. Long Fei was focused on developing the photos. Li Shi quickly pulled out a group photo and tucked it into his pocket, casually taking a discarded photo to hang up in its place. After developing the photos and waiting a moment, Long Fei handed Li Shi their group photo and cautioned, I'll walk you back, make sure the photo isn't discovered by the instructors. Li Shi nodded, I know. You don't have to see me home, I'm not that delicate. When he returned to the medical room, Tang Cheng was chatting with the doctor. Instructor Tang. Dr. Wu. Li Shi walked over to greet them. The two nodded in acknowledgement. Tang Cheng said to Wu Guangyong, okay, you get busy, I need to have a word with this kid. Wu Guangyong nodded again and left. After Wu Guangyong left, Tang Cheng sat on a bed beside him and pointed to the bed across from him. Sit. How's the injury? Tang Cheng asked with concern. First, L, as she slowly raised his hand, did a few chest expansion exercises, and then raised both hands to show Tang Cheng. Thank you for your concern. Instructor Tang, it's almost healed. After Li Shi sat down, Tang Cheng said, I suppose you've heard that the training class is about to graduate. What are your thoughts? I will strictly obey the superior's arrangements. Li Shi replied. Tang Cheng nodded. You were originally assigned to work in the southwest rear, but I want you to follow me to the Shanghai substation. What do you think? Li Shi's expression didn't change as he replied again. I will strictly obey the instructor's arrangements. Tang Cheng gently patted Li Shi's shoulder. You don't have to be so serious. When we're alone, I'm older than you. Just call me brother. Li Shi nodded. Brother. What position do you hold at the substation? The Shanghai is only a Class C substation, and I am trusted by the party and the country to be the station chief. But you have a 3-month internship period and must start as a communicator or operative, Tang Cheng explained. Yes. Tang Cheng got up and pointed to a lunchbox on the table. That's chicken soup. I had the cafeteria prepare for you. Drink it all later. That's all for now. You rest well. Li Shi got up. Take care, brother Tang. Tang Cheng didn't mention the traitor Zhao, and Li Shi didn't need to ask about the conclusion since he already learned it from Long Fei. After Tang Cheng walked away, Li Shi just picked up the lunchbox when he suddenly remembered that the 2 photos in his possession were not safe. Before he could hide them, 2 masked men suddenly burst into the medical room and directly threw him into a sack. The chicken soup spilled all over the floor. Resisting was hopeless. Li Shi usually only jogs occasionally. His stamina is quite average. People in this era practice martial arts aimed at lethal techniques, which are far more advanced than the martial arts in later generations that focus on physical fitness. Li Shi had no idea who wanted to deal with him. Moreover, if the two photos in his arms were discovered, the consequences would be severe. Before Li Shi could think further, a tremendous force struck the back of his head, and he fainted without even a chance to groan. He didn't know how long it had been. Li Shi slowly regained consciousness. At this moment, he found himself in a damp, dim room, the air filled with the smell of blood. The wound on his chest had been torn open again, and blood flowed out once more. His hands, feet, and neck were tied to wooden stakes, and he was drenched, clearly having been splashed with water. "Speak, who sent you to infiltrate here?" A cold voice came from in front of him.